staying right there. Welcome back. Good morning. My name is Brian Sakwa, and this is the last conversation of the day. And we absolutely welcome you to let us know where you're watching us from. We love to see and read your feedback, which is on the hashtag Why in the Morning on all our social platforms. Now, in this conversation, we're delving into why it is extremely pertinent to bridge the gap between the National Police Service, let's just call it the police service, and the community or the local Mwananchi at large. And here to take us through this conversation and how his, part of his works have tremendously transformed different communities is Genesio Ngari. He's Chair, National Community Policing Association Kenya, otherwise known as NCPA Kenya. Karibu sana, and great to have you here.
Thank you so much, my brother.
Now, get us through maybe just a little background scope of what happens at NCPA and some of the accomplishments that you managed to stop for yourself.
First of all, I would like to introduce what the National Community Policing entails. It is actually an association that it's a collaboration initiative between the National Police Service and the community at large. And not just the National Police Service, but the stakeholders in the security department. Or rather the stakeholders, like the private sector, the private security, anybody who is actually a stakeholder in the security, and also the business community who believes in supporting the government or supporting the National Community Policing in management of the security.
Right.
So basically, this initiative was born back in 2016 in a place called Ruaka. Right. Ruaka is just our neighborhood here in Nairobi, in Kiambaa sub-county, where many people used to know only crime. You know, every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, a crime would be reported in Ruaka.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of blame game between the police officers and the members of the public.
Yeah.
So we, as the members of the public, allow me to say with my friend, we ask ourselves, why is it that everybody is complaining?
Yeah.
And what is actually lacking? And we posted that big question. Why is the police officers complaining? And why are the members of the public complaining about the police officers? So we just wanted to know.
Yeah.
And that is when we came up with an idea of bringing them together so that we can understand what exactly is happening.
Right.
And we found out that the police would say, these members of the public are not bringing the information. So even because they are living with the criminals, and they're not telling us exactly where they live, and they're not telling us the operation mode and things like that.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, the members of the public are saying, the police officers are just in the stations, and they will come in the evening just to want to patrol without even having that connection.
Yeah.
So we realized that connection and collaborations and partnership was actually missing.
Right.
And communication.
Collaboration, partnership, and communication.
And communication. Actually, Sakwa, it is very hard for me to communicate with you if we are not sitting down. It is not, I mean, we cannot plan anything if we cannot come together.
Yeah.
So that is when we decided it is a good thing for us to have an initiative that would make sure there is police officer and there is a member of public, so that we can solve these issues together, understanding each other and the problems where it is. So back in 2016, if I remember well, it was August 2016, that is when we came up with an idea of having a security group in our community. The Ruaka community,
group,
yes,
yeah.
called Ruaka Security Updates.
Okay.
So our idea was we receive the information from the police, what they want the community to do, and the same time we also receive the update from the community, what they want the police officers to do.
Okay, fantastic. Maybe also, why is it important for the general public to strike a relationship with the police service, or the police force? Because initially, when you look at how police, their body language, but like for instance, if a group of them just stormed right here, you'd see people, the body posture, others would scatter, others would start getting busy. Like there's a certain uneasiness that comes when police storm into a scene. Why is it so?
Sakwa, before we used to have what we call the National Police Force, which was actually more of just operation, sitting in the police stations, and then they will just come and do patrol the work and use the forces, Yeah. But you remember right now what we are looking at, if you look at our Inspector General of Police, Mr. Douglas Kanja, he has actually been championing so much for what we call the police reforms. This is after it changed from the National Police Force to the National Police Service. You know, service is something that you actually give, you actually offer with love. You offer with the listening ear. It is not, you don't make the decisions. You come to the person that you're offering the service to be able to listen to. Collaborate actually.
And communicate to them.
So before we used to have those kind of notions that the police officers are different from the members of the public, until when we had the service, now being called the service, and the police officers started living amongst the community. Like where I stay, I think almost like 17 of my colleagues, my neighbors are police officers. And every day we would ask ourselves some questions about the normal life, you know, like where can I get a boda?
Yeah, sure.
Where can I get my pizza? You know, those kind of things. But before it was very hard, as they were not more welcome actually,
or even accepted.
But right now you will find out that the police officers who are in the service right now, they are, number one, they are so educated, they are so informed, and they live directly in the community.
Like
but we still have that small group of community who do not have information on that these things changed.
Yeah.
And they're still living in those, you know, gone are those days when police used to just say. Right now it is about conversation. You know, I am going to arrest you because you have done this, and this. Then you will be able to ask maybe what are some other options that we have. And then you have conversation even before you're taken to the police station. You will have a conversation even about football on the way. You will say, mimi ni mtu ya hii team, na mimi na support hii team, and then you will even be able to collaborate, you know. So by the time you are getting to the police station, then you will realize that you have been served well. Now, for this small, let me just call it small community that still believe that police officers are different from the community, that is why we are coming up with this kind of initiatives. If you look at our national community policing associations, our way of approach is by partnering with the main partner is the National Police Service, because we want to support, actually to complement Article 244 of the Constitution of Kenya. It gives the members of the public and the police officers an opportunity to collaborate and work together. And if you dig deeper, if you go to National Police Service Act, for example, Section 96, it is actually a direct initiative. It is actually giving a direct opportunity for the members of the public and the police officers to work together. So we are partnering with different organizations. Like, for example, let me give you an example of what is actually upcoming. Next month on 8th, we shall be having what we call the community training on how to be safe, how to coordinate with your police officer, how to do the report at the police station. Because before, people used to think that you have to buy the report. Nowadays, you can even make a call to your OCS. Let me give you a unique approach of how we collaborate, or how we make this successful. We have a membership of about 5,000 people plus in our country. And there's no limitations, there's no serious Sharia that you cannot join. As long as you want to support the police, you want to support the national government, you believe that security begins with you, then you become an automatic member of the community policing. So we formed what we call WhatsApp groups, because you know we are living in the times where the social media actually is working towards making things easier. So in those WhatsApp groups, it is a responsibility. We select what we call county coordinators, who usually make sure that in every day, every week, they seek the ways to collaborate with the police without blaming each other, without saying that the police is mbaya. We come up with ideas of how can we solve these issues. Now, we have contact, first Sheriani you must have contact of your local police station, the leadership, the OCPD, the OCS, the DCIO, and the local police who are in charge in that area. So in a
What about
group,
the
if something, maybe to finish up, if something happened to Nakuru, for example, we will come to our Mtandao and ask who is in Nakuru, who is the coordinator for Nakuru, who is the OCPD in Nakuru, who is the OCS in Nakuru, this person is looking for that.
So you have intel literally around, you know.
We have intel and we have people on the ground, and their work is to make sure that at least you have to know your police officer.
Yeah.
That is actually the first step. You have to know your police officer who is where.
That's almost like a whistleblower. But then how do you protect a resident who wants to tip off the authority around, now it's a service of a crime or maybe a syndicate or a group terrorizing residents within that area, and assure them that, you know, of their safety?
Sakwa, before I started answering your first question, I want to remind you that what we are having right now is the police service, which is more of a professional body. Of course, I will not deny the fact that even in church, iko pastor mwingine crook, you know, you will find that one or two people they are going against it. Even in the police service, utapata iko moja mbili tatu. But I can assure you, the biggest number of police officers right now, because the training that they undergo right now, even for the customer service and how to collaborate, they are very good at what they normally do. Because we are having very qualified, very informed, and this has actually been subject to, if you look at the leadership of the police right now, they train their officers on how to be professional. So I would like to remind the members of the public that it is not easy, and maybe in a case of 1 to 10, it is not easy for a police officer to disclose that this guy came here and reported you, and you know those kind of things, because there are also some criteria, or rather there are also some internal arrangements that must also be they are also in the police service. You know, if you feel that I am not...
Is it a code of conduct or ethics?
I don't want to go deeper into the police service, how they work, but according to the information that I have, is that if I do not trust this police officer that I want to give info, there is another police officer somewhere that I can still share this information with, and still believe that my issue will be solved.
And actually the issue of trust is big, even with what's happening in the country.
Yes.
Why is it the local Mwananchi do not trust police, the police service, so to say? Like, and off the air you are telling me, as a resident, as a local Mwananchi, you should be often visiting police station. And I was like, in fact, that is a very good approach. I asked you, Sakwa, when was the last time did you visit the police station? And I think your answer was, I don't even remember. You do not have to visit the police station because you have a problem. Because that is when we start now looking for, when I hear maybe a door is being broken somewhere, or I hear some commotions, that is when I start thinking about the police officer. That is where we go wrong, Sakwa. I should always think of a police officer as a servant of the people. And just as I come to you here and say, hi, Sakwa, what is the problem with the camera, you know? What is the problem with your microphone, and how are you doing? How is your wife doing? You know, even the police officers, they also need those kind of relationship. But we as a community, we have actually developed a way of thinking that the police officers should always solve their own problems without having somebody to listen to them. Imagine an officer who is listening to your kesi, carjacking, paka imegwara mtoto ya jirani. A love affair.
A love affair, for example.
Slapped the other.
If you're having an issue with a girlfriend, the first thing you think will be, nitakuitia polisi. You know, if maybe you are
chief kwanza.
I mean, you know, a chief is also a public servant and a public officer who is also part of that the security chain.
Right.
So when we talk about the police, we are also talking about the chief. We are also talking about the DC. We are also talking about anybody who is actually on that line. So if you always look for that officer when there is a problem, and that is when you start now introducing yourself, it even becomes so hard and difficult for you to strike the balance, you know. But imagine Sako from today. If I meet you on the street and I need you to help me, I will not even need to introduce myself because you already know me. We have already broken that ice, you know. And we already know each other, and we already have developed some relationship.
Right.
So this relationship is what we are building as the national community policing. Making sure that at least there is that relationship. Do not go to the police station when there is problem. Just visit the OCS, even when you're sitting there. Mwambie afande, I just wanted to, mimi ni mkazi hapa, I just wanted to know, how are you doing?
Right.
How is your, do you even have a wife? Do you know those kind of things. And you've seen, we have seen our group, when we do that, it actually makes the work easier. And there's a very success story in Ruaka.
Right, yeah. And I wanted to maybe to point out maybe what are some of the incidents that you guys managed to solve that were completely terrorizing the residents over there. And when you came in as NCPA, it's now permanently annihilated.
First of all, information and reporting on time. Training our members of the public that, remember, when the police officer is in the stations, you must make sure that at least you give them information. They cannot be everywhere. That is something that we must also agree. That it is our responsibility to see and report on time so that they can also act. That is number one. Number two, there are some, Sakwa, you and me will agree, there are some issues that we do not even have to wait for the police to come. For example, if it is a matter of kuku, imeruka kwa jirani yangu, you know, me and you, we will strike a deal. Either we decide hii kuku ndio iko na makosa, we just slaughter hiyo kuku, and then hakuna haja kuita OCS. But some of these issues that we have as community, a responsibility we have as community, actually we have realized we have solved a lot of issues that did not have to escalate up to the police, because we load the police officers with a lot of responsibility. We give them a lot of responsibility. Even the responsibilities that we create ourselves, that we can even solve. Like my issue with my wife, you know, it does not have to escalate to the level where the OCS has to come.
But yeah, kama mnapigana, definitely that's abuse. So the other person is hurting. So
you know, the incident will actually graduate. If it graduates to a level of becoming now a threat, and now it start approaching towards welcoming or inviting the police officers to come and solve.
And how do you solve that, by the way? Because this love affairs, there are so many that are going sour out here. Watu kuwekeana sumu, sijui alimtega kaanguka, sijui amemfumania wapi. How are you guys solving this in some of these local communities?
That is why we said we have a lot of partnership with different organizations. We have organizations doing psychology and counseling. We have other religious organizations. In fact, if you look at our organization structures, or rather membership, it actually comprises of different organizations across all divide. We have people who are expert in counseling, and they also counsel even the police officers and the members of the public. Okay. So, depending on what issue has been presented to us, for example, because, you know, issues are different. If it is an issue that is inviting a pastor or a leader in the mosque to come and intervene, then we will direct it there. Because we cannot, like me as Ngare, I am not an expert in counseling. I will not be able to counsel anyone. I might go against all, rather I may not be able to know that.
Right.
But in our organization, we make sure that at least we have a doctor, we have a teacher, we have a psychology expert, we have somebody who is going to help in those kind of issues. So to answer your questions, it is very simple. We will direct that particular issue, to that person who is actually an expert in that area. That's why we have all those collaborations.
Yeah, and just looking at your highlight, you say you train both the community and the police on emergency response, security updates, report writing, first aids, communication skills, and community policing, among others. Maybe hapa kwa first aid, how are you guys training wananchi on offering first aid whenever, I think most instances inakuanga ni moto, most fires, just something happened and then, and I think we saw what happened with Kajiado. Was it yesterday? Yeah. Something tragic happened to the community. So in such an incident, how do you apply your skills as NCPA to the Mwananchi?
Very well. Our NCPA is more of a connecting organization. So we have got what we call, for example, the National Disaster and Management Unit. Like before we started this interview, I was telling you that from next week we shall be having what we call the community safety trainings. That will include the first aids, the emergency responses, and those kind of things. So we have the National Disaster and Management Team, which actually National Disaster Management Unit, which actually comes in handy to help our community and our members who are interested in learning that to be able to get that information.
Yeah.
So we do not train. We do not train ourselves, but we actually request our partners, because we have actually made a very serious and a very strong partnership with the different communities. Like in the community policing, the community policing is a responsibility of the National Police Service.
Yeah.
And there is a directorate of community policing which is actually in charge.
Right.
And it is under the DIG himself. So the only thing we as an association we will do, we will write a letter. And that is what we have actually been doing, because we have done that several times. We will write a letter to the DIG requesting for his support in terms of training our members of the public to be able to learn more of our community policing, community engagement, and information.
So who are the experts released in this? Are there like already trained police officers that can disseminate this information, or you guys hire or outsource equipped members to be part of the community?
And the National Police Service have got a Directorate of Community Policing,
Okay.
which are the experts.
The experts, okay.
And the national community, anything that you're doing as a community safety, you must go and seek permission from the Directorate of Community Policing. They have been trained by the government, the National Police Service.
Right.
So we do not train. We actually request, and
then they disburse.
They disperse. They come and support. They come and help. Actually, the National Police Service, they do it completely. The support that we have received from the National Police Service is actually very, very, very serious. Very, very, very big, and it has actually changed the way people used to perceive the police.
Yeah.
The police and the
but
public.
actually, most police officers are completely unapproachable, and their attitude and their body language just sends you off. You had mentioned to me off the air that one of the main part of your focus is that was initially initiated from the transition to the national police. Was it force to
Yes,
now
the police force.
service is police reforms that includes that the conduct and the behavior of the police is steer-headed towards them having an open-ended relationship with the Mwananchi. Then what is happening to these ones who are collecting mlungula all the time? Kwa batatu unaona mtu amesalimia mwingine, kuna kaishu mahali unaambiwa hapa itabidi mtoe thao. How you guys alleviating this vice at the same time bridging the gap with the Mwananchi?
Thank you, Sakwa. Babylon was not built in one day, and it is a process.
Babylon or Rome?
Was it Rome? I'm sorry for that. I mean, the Rome. Rome was not done in one day, and there is always what we call stages and step by step. As I am coming, and I can confirm without fear of contradiction, Sakwa, that we have got at least 70% of the police officers who are very professional. It's only that the small group is actually perceived. Members of the public, we are used to look at the bad side of the story, especially when it is something to do with the police. Let me give you a very good example of a picture that I saw, and it pained me so much. One of my friends from Ruaka, he was actually purchasing some boga one day. And then by that time, you have to pay the mboga, and then the mama mboga will give you the change. So this officer was in uniform. He was actually a diplomatic police officer. I'm not going to mention who.
Okay.
But by the time he was receiving the change from the mama mboga, somebody took a picture. And then this picture, people started thinking that this officer is taking bribe from the mama mboga.
Right.
So people will want to create a story because it is a police officer in uniform. And what we were told about the police officers, they are enemies. Then I start now creating that story. That is what we are actually coming to kill. Because you must be able to take a step and ask yourself, what was this officer doing in this Mama Mboga's kiosk?
Yeah.
Have I did I even take time to listen to the Mamboka version before I come and judge this person?
Absolutely. And maybe we can pause a little bit as you think about that as they fix part of your sound. We're actually having a conversation right here with Genesio Ngari. He is part of NCPA, bridging the gap between the Mwananchi and the police service to ensure that there's safer communities. But also, I'm interested to know what is happening in your area now that, we have exams going on. The other day we saw, I think it was yesterday, there's a very, shocking, bizarre report in Kajiado when it comes to matters in security. When it comes to you escalating that issue to the authorities, what is the procedure and how have you been treated whenever you visited any police post to report whatever just happened in your area? And I love the fact that, what NCPA is doing is trying to give you information and train you to just be normal and also have the mindset and the perspective that, a police person or a police personality or even a police officer is just a normal Mwananchi who is in the service to give you what you need. And I think that's such an incredible thing to do, especially at such a time when, we are coming from an era of picketing, demonstration, and whatnot. And what I love about this conversation as well is that we are trying to humanize police officers and literally security systems. There's a place I was asking if you also work with watchmen, because I don't know how watches are supposed to be included in this in terms of also them being part of the protocol that solves some of these issues that keep on festering in communities.
Part of our collaborations, our partners is the private security sectors who actually hire the private guards. Private guards will be standing in a gate or be opening a gate or even be manning an area the whole day in a shift. So those are very, very important element actually in our community policing, because they're the people who actually interact with different people who are visiting different premises. So they are actually our part of the initiative, our part of what we actually do. I want to point out a very good initiative that is actually started by our CS, our Cabinet Secretary for the Ministry of Interior, Honorable Murkomen. It is actually the Jukwaa la Usalama. So what our CS is actually doing is bringing the here down. People always think that we have to take a lot of time before we get to the CS, to the Minister of Interior, and even before to just bring you a little bit back, you asked me like, if you are having a problem with a police officer, where are you supposed to report, or who is supposed to listen?
Yeah, but that's a good twist.
Yes.
Because most of the time you'd be afraid to report a police officer.
Report a police officers. If you look at the police stations, and this one, what I'm saying here is based on my research and my interactions with them, because I take a lot of time. Most of my time, like almost 70% of my time, is just to understand how they operate and what are some of our responsibilities.
Input, okay. So
our input. You will realize that in the police stations, there is also what we call the ranks. Okay. There is the OCS, there is the OCPD. Okay, let's start maybe with the normal police officer, with the police constable, there is the corporal, there is the sergeant, there is the OCS, who just going like that.
Okay.
So if you're having an issue with the police officer, remember the police officer is not the final authority. If I am having a problem with these police officers, and we have other 100 police officers there, so at least one of them will be able to help me.
You have a problem with the OCS.
You have a problem with the OCS. Then there is the OCPD, who is now the sub-county police commander.
Who is unavailable in the office?
I don't want to think that the OCPD is unavailable in the office, because his office is always manned by the servants who are always there, and they are always. I have never, to be honest, I've never been in need of an OCPD when he is actually whether off or in another duty, and he is not available. Availability does not have to mean that you have to see the OCPD in person. And even just to twist you a little bit, there is also the deputy OCPD. The OCPD will not go be out of the station or of the division, and the OCA or OCPD at the same time. At least you will be able to see the deputy, the deputy OCPD.
Okay.
And if you cannot see the deputy OCPD, the office is always with open.
The servants, okay.
And it's a 24 hours actually open. If you cannot talk to the OCPD and you feel that maybe he is not helping you, you will go to the county commander, who is a little bit higher. And then before the county commander is not helping them. But in that office of the county commander, there are other senior officers also who can also listen and who can also support you and help. But we always have a problem when we get to the police station and then we say, these police officers are mistreating me. And then you go to all over social media saying that those police officers are bad, police officers are very, very useless, you know, those kind of things that we
Actually,
we
you saw it. Most police stations have been touched. If you observe closely, especially in areas where there are a lot of demonstrations, most police offices are actually closed, or they were burnt, or they were kicked out.
Lack of information, Sakwa. Lack of information, Sakwa. The police station does not belong to the police officers. So if you ban the police station, for example, in fact, it is the same as burning your own house, because the police stations belong to you. So there is no difference between burning your own house and burning a police station, because that is a police station. That, you know, if you burn your own house, you know what will happen, of course. You will have nowhere to sleep. Your documents will be nowhere to, you know, to be found and things like that. So if you burn a police station, this is what happens. Or maybe the reports that were made there will be derailed. Well, there are other arrangements that they have to make sure that at least the process continues. But I can assure you, if you ban a police station, even for you, if anything happens to you, you will not have anywhere to go and do the report.
Right.
And you see, if you're having a problem with a police officer, there's always other avenues to actually seek for some support and also answers. We have the police service commissions. We have the police oversight authority, you know, and you can always, before you even go there, and that is why we are even coming up with the national community. You know, for me, I will be able to listen, and I will be able to go and talk to maybe the DIG, the IG, and if you feel that you cannot really go to the Inspector General, then come to us, the community policing. Come, tell us what is actually the issue. We will be able to strike the balance between you and because we actually working as a liaison.
Okay, are you part of the NPSC as well?
Not really. I am.
Your background is in.
I've just studied the security management, and that was actually my plan before
to join.
Yes, but you see the dynamics. I don't want to go into details, but you know, So, but not being an actual police officer does not limit you from actually exercising what the Constitution actually gives
and
you.
You mentioned Article
244
and 96.
And even the national, you know, we have even have to go deeper. When somebody asks you, like, why are you doing the community policing work? Yet we know that it is a police work. Then you will be able to answer, look, we are not doing any police work. Actually, what we are doing is we are building the bridges, as the Constitution says, that the police will look for partnership between the members of the public and the community. That is Article 244. And digging deeper to Section 96, 97 of the National Police Service Act 2011, revised, I think, 2012, 2016.
Right.
You will see that collaboration is actually backed up there by the law.
Right.
And that is what we are exercising as a National Community Policing Authority.
Interesting.
Association, sorry.
Okay, now let me ask you, and I know you saw this. We are coming from a season where there's been a lot of abductions and people disappearing. And you'd evidently see what people are saying on social media. Ndao polisi, ndao DCI, ndao NIS. So if you're to escalate such a matter where you're just strolling kwa barabara, and then you see a comrade being bundled into the car, who do you go to? Do you go to the DCI, and yet they're saying it's DCI who is abducting this comrade? Or do you go to a police post who, in fact, there's several chains of command before if issue yako ifika kwa DCI? How do you help these Gen Zs?
Sakwa, I want you to agree with me. First of all, we must be able to understand when we talk about kidnapping. You know, there's difference between kidnapping and arresting. A police officer, a police officer will not and will never kidnap. Because if I kidnap you, for example, I will take you to maybe an undisclosed place because we are having some issues.
Yeah.
You know, if I have issue with you and I want to kidnap you, for example, I'm a criminal, I will not take you to a place where it is on the public reach, you know. But when a police officer arrests you, they take you to the police station, which is the government, which is actually your property. They take you home. They take you to a place whereby your family can visit you and everybody can come and see you.
And that's
now,
not
I
what
want to
they do
distinguish.
anyways.
I want you to distinguish between now kidnapping. If you are having a problem, maybe business-wise, we are competing in a business. Those are some of the things that we see in the movies, like in Mexico. If we are having problem in business,
The drug lords.
the drug lords, and you know, maybe they will come and kidnap. Let us not. In fact, I want us to understand. And we need to understand that we must distinguish, we must distance the police officers from that word we call kidnapping.
In fact, it's abducting.
Abducting. You know, when my sister here come and report an issue to me, for example, I am a police officer, and I want to come and explain to you that you have to come with us to the police station. But you see, you are an activist, for example. I don't want to say activism is bad. I'm just saying there are those activists who have actually chosen to make activism as part of enmity, you know, between them and the police officers. But they are I know of activists who are very good, actually. They are very straight on point. They collaborate, and they only criticize professionally and when it is actually necessary. But still, we have. I want to agree with you, and you have to agree with me. There are those people who just wake up and think that mimi naweza kuwa activist. So, and the only way to do this activism is by taking a lot of drugs, hard drugs and things like that, so that I will not be myself, and I will start now engaging on the social media. So I want to believe if you meet with that kind of person and you are a police officer, you will realize it is so difficult because that person already believes that they are coming to be stubborn. And they are just they don't want to see that uniform. They don't want to see the police officers because of what they have actually created. So those are just small issues. And you will see the police officers, the DCI, for example, Sakwa, and you will agree with me, they have been able to unfold some of these people, some of these criminals who have been abducting others, and then they will come in background, try to pretend they are police officers, and also try to create stories of like, we are police officers from. But have you
they are not police officers who have been abducting.
I do not think that a police officer will abduct anyone.
But Amnesty International said these are, in fact, the statement is police-enforced abductions. I don't know if you've read the report from Amnesty.
In the process of being, I have a very good example, Sakwa, of my neighbor, a very good friend of mine, and I actually sat with him down. He had very serious problems with his neighbor, and the police wanted to come and, just get him, and they go to the police station and write the statement, But I'm telling you, Sakwa, by the time those police officers were getting into the gate, this guy had already made a lot of mobilization from some youth, and he had already sold some drugs, actually, and introduced some drugs to them, so that by the time the police officers arrive, they will not be able to arrest him. Number one, because for him, he believes that he is untouchable. Why? Because he has got a lot of, the youth followings and things like that.
Yeah.
But I want us to come back to the reality, Sakwa. These young people are the ones that are lining themselves up to be recruited in the police service. What would they feel if they are given the law and order to initiate, and then the people that they are supposed to help, they are turning against them? It becomes actually a very big problem. So when the commotion happens, automatically we as Kenyans, we interpret that as abduction. Even when a police officer is in uniform and is actually coming to try to help some situation. I've even seen a police officer in a traffic uniform being beaten by other people just because this matatu driver don't want to be arrested. And then you will maybe shout, mimi na abductiwa, kwa nini munawacha mimi abductiwa? Just because of that kind of lack of information and lack of engagement to understand that a police officer is not an enemy. He is actually your brother. You know, you have got the right to even explain to those people.
Yeah, but also the manner in which they handle you is worrisome. Imagine, I think this happened to a friend. We were at a concert, and then I think the police confused now someone, and they just yanked them out of, only later on to realize, in fact, this guy was his boss, part of the organizer of the event, who had hired this policeman. It was such a shame. So why do policemen handle people? Why can't you have a conversation and say, hey, Genesio, I think we need to talk about this and this and this. Instead of you bundling me into this, Mariam, and then tunaongelea mbele. Badala tuongee saizi nijue, why are you bundling me? Why are you manhandling me? No. Instead of us having a conversation.
Sakwa, let us not just look at those isolated. You know, there are some isolated cases, just as I was saying. But
this were even in
the church, Sakwa, you and me will agree. Even in those people that we know very good, even doctors, they are crook doctors, they are crook pastors, they are crook teachers, Those are just some isolated issues that we are facing as a society that we need to come up with the strategies. And I don't even want to say that we need to come up. Already, the police service leadership, in fact, we have one of the best gentlemen lined up there from the IG, from the DIG, both the Masengeli and the Langat. They are actually coming up every day. They are formulating some ideas on how to involve the police officers and as well as the community. Because the temperature has been rising. You pushed a police officers to a level of, if I am participating in chaos, for example, in protest, for example. And then these people are coming with crude weapons, they are coming with mawe, they are coming with mishale, I'm not supposed to use what I have been taught by law to use because the media will be recording that part, that small. I know you understand what we mean by cut.
That's actually a narrative also and a perspective in the mindsets of the service. Which also needs to be debunked. Yeah.
So I want us to have the conversation where we will be able to look at the scenario, the whole scenario, instead of cut your part, let us just bring it. And maybe there is somebody who has got a small problem with the police, maybe they had a very serious engagement, but they want to involve the whole community in believing that because of this issue. I remember when we were in school, if you touch me, for example, I would make it a whole school issue. And I will mobilize other people to come and believe that we are under attack because I have been touched. I don't want us to go to that direction, Mr. Sakwa. I want people to be fair, even when they are judging the police officers.
Okay.
So that we can also look at the scenarios based on how did it start and how did it end. But hapa katikati, if there was some, I saw a police officer and he was preaching. They also preach nowadays.
Yeah, sure.
And they is even seeing, recently I saw them
in art.
They do art. So they are just normal. Even the young people, I've seen the young people also rap. And I like searching those music and
anything that has to do.
They're very talented.
Okay.
You know why these police officers are talented? Because the recruitment of the police is actually done directly from the community. So you come from the community, where ulikuwa mwimbaji, you used to sing, you used to perform, and then you become a police officer. And that talent is in you. So what will happen?
DJ. Yeah.
You used to be a DJ.
Yeah. But how would you treat a police officer who is a DJ at a club, Giodi? I'm only trying to imagine anatreatiwaje na watu. Kuna certain seriousness that oozes off if you become a DJ. Because you're now an entertainer, and here you are with a gun during your 7th day of the week.
When it comes to talent and gift, that is something which is dynamic. You cannot really limit somebody who is talented or gifted, because even at night you will find them even performing,
Yeah.
So based on their talents, based on their performance, if the crowd the participants feel wanafeel hiyo mistari yake, then they will not look into the part of this is a police officer. This is one of us. It's only that this guy has got kibarua working as the police officer, just like in other service. Kama daktari, if a daktari is working at KNH and then today he is the one who is actually performing a music in my wedding,
right.
I am not interested in Kenyatta Hospital, what he does, the surgery that he did last night. The only thing that I just want to be happy. I want to see this performance. So I don't think the youth even will look into this is a police officer.
Sure,
Nobody has got that time, because at that time the only thing we are looking for is entertainment.
The entertainment too.
Entertainment part. So when we get kukikucha kesho yake, then the police officer will just get back to the service, and then we continue with that.
So would you say maybe crime rate has gone down as we finish up with what you're doing? Because I believe this is a very strong initiative that should be supported a lot even by high authorities, including NGOs and the government, private and non-private entities.
I'll give you a very good example. Just what happened recently. We had a lot of issues of crime reports in Nairobi CBD. And our regional county commander, his name is George Senda.
Yeah.
He actually sits there, Senda. You should actually talk to him. Senda.
Yeah, I think I've seen him do a press at some
so
point.
Seda is one of those people who believes so much in community collaborations. And not just Seda. If you look at our IG himself, he is always asking, like, what are we supposed to do? You know, he's that person who will call you, like, you have not given me the information. And we even have our patron, actually, I was almost forgetting, the National Police Service spokesman. His name is Mr. Mushiri. He's actually our patron. He always called me on a different occasions to find out what is actually happening and what are we supposed to do. Now, we came up with a strategy of how can we team up with the Central Police Station, Kamukunji Police Stations, Railways Police Stations, Ngara Police Stations, and the Pangani Police Station, the stations that are actually around. We as members of the public, what can we do to make sure that at least this crime yenye inakuwa reported in Nairobi has just been, imemalizwa kabisa. So we sat down and we decided that more and more information is supposed to be given to the police, to the police stations around Nairobi. So we went and sat down with Mr. Seda. And then, because of the support that he has for the community, even for us, we felt that it was now a good time also to implement what we have also been saying. So we used to have what we call coordinated patrols together. The community patrols together with the police officers. The police officers initiate the police work. For us, our work is to check, to see, you see something, and then you are able to pass it over to the police officer because they are trained on how to react and on how to do it. So we did our patrol, and we partnered actually with the Nairobi County. I saw our friend Mosilia also coming with us, and we had a lot of members of the community policing and members of other organizations coming together, taking even those who participate in environmental organizations, they came together so that we can now deal with this menace that is actually facing us. Because when...
And it's gone down, the reports have died.
100%, in fact...
Phones being snatched, somebody holding a knife against you.
You will not even see
Avenue.
That. When was the last time you had that SACWA? Because it has actually been coordinated very well, and it is actually ended. The only ile crime tuko nayo ni ile tu yenye you can even find it inside the church. Ile kidogo kidogo tu, those kind of manageable. But Nairobi right now, the way we were trending, I can assure you, and I can say that without fear of contradiction, that through the collaborations, the National Police Service have actually done this in a very professional way. And you even saw the Jukwaa la Usalama the other day. When the minister came, the Jukwaa la Usalama in Nairobi, it actually opened the eyes of people that you can also, you also have a responsibility to participate in the in the community. And even the CS himself, Samur Komen, he actually said the community policing initiatives must be supported with a lot of, with a lot of intense, and that is why we have reduced all the crime. And I can assure you, before, if you come to Ruaka, where I stay, for example, I am able to walk with my phone without having any problem. But before SACWA, it was about buying a very serious bag. I will only make calls when I arrive mahali penye
What
ninaenda.
about the Kayole one? Because that one looks like it's been a cultural thing over there. Kayole, Dandora, where you cannot walk with your phone.
Before we used to have what we call lack of information, lack of channel of information. But right now, I can assure you, even in Kayole, our teams in Kayole, they have formulated a ways of, we just came to realize that it is due to lack of giving the reports on time. We used to complain so much. Even for me as a normal Kenyan, I used to blame the police officers so much. Like these guys, bona hiyo kelele iko huko na polisi hawako. Until when I came to get this information from the National Community Policing, that it is also my responsibility to do what, to get information. So I can also report directly to the OCS. If I don't feel comfortable going to the report office, I can have the number of OCS and also report. What people are doing in Kayole, we have actually exchanged numbers with our police commanders in the local police stations. So if you see something, if you see something and it is being blown, if you blow somebody's cover, then they are not able to continue with their operations. It is either they will change their way, and as they change their way, our police officers are also, in every day, every engagement, through the police reform, they are also changing tactics. If you go left, then the police officers will go left. Because what we are facing right now, the challenges that we are having right now is mtandao, because our young people are also so educated, such that most of the crime that we are facing right now do not actually happen as physical crime. It is actually through internet, through technologies.
But it's helping actually to expose people being abducted.
But thanks to government, they have actually implemented a lot of
the Cybercrime Act.
The Cybercrime Act. And I don't want even to go to the Cybercrime Act, but
I think we talked about it yesterday.
Yeah. So a lot of police officers are also taking trainings on how to use the information, the technologies, so that they can also be able to be on that level.
Yeah. There's a lot actually, somebody said, oh, there's a killer squad, oh, there's a police force that's giving intel. Anyways, but also lastly, before you call upon the general masses on how they can collaborate with NCPM, do you believe in some kind of way the police reputation has been tainted, basing off of what has transpired for the better part of last year and half of this year, especially during Sabasaba? And there's a certain resistance that comes from the masses when it comes to anything that has to do with the police, and then just leaders up there. I don't know if you're seeing it in that filter.
There's still a lot of work to be done, Sakwa. And every day I can assure you, every day we are making progress. We are making a step towards the reforms, and also, it is a two responsibility which are very big. While our National Police Service works so hard to make sure that at least the police reforms work, we as a community, we are also working so hard to help them understand that these are not they are processes that are actually being made, and there are some success stories, actually success steps that are actually done. But that is why we as community policing, we are so engaged in training. Just like the advertisement, when you have a company and you want to advertise and you keep on mentioning your company every day, then you make steps every day. Like if you want people to know Sakwa, you will say Sakwa. If you go to Kijabe Street, you say Sakwa. If you go to Moi Avenue, you say Sakwa. People will now start knowing Sakwa. So this is what we are also doing as a national community policing, that there are police reforms, they are good police ni rafiki. In fact, that is our motto. Police ni rafiki.
Police ni rafiki, that's a good one.
In fact, that is, if you look at our logo, for example. Police ni rafiki. Police ni rafiki. And police ni rafiki in the essence of this guy, if I come here at KBC, for example, Y254, for example, in this compound, and ask how many people have got the police officers in their homes, you will find that almost like not less than 10%. Oh, I know a police officer who is my friend,
or
we
my
drink
brother,
together,
my
or
cousin,
my brother, my girlfriend.
Right.
And before, people used to think that police officers do not marry the members of the public. No, right now, I mean, it happens. You come here in Rwaka, I have witnessed a lot of, because of these collaborations actually, I've witnessed people going out, going for swimming, going for Mombasa trip. And
so there's an initiative to fund weddings for police officers, which is a good one actually. I like that. Yeah.
So you see, I mean, these kind of initiatives, these kind of ideas are actually bringing us close to achieving the goal. Just as I was saying, it cannot be done overnight. It has to be. But I can assure you, Sakwa, right now, it is not like it was before. Because the collaborations that and I even want us to do an example of the way they are responding to our groups. If you ask for a police officer right now, a police officer will come. Even at the level of OCPD, OCS, they will come and say, okay, look, my colleague is the one who is in Kiambu, for example. My colleague is the one who is in Nakuru. And they will give you the number. And immediately you call those people. The first, before we used to call the police officers, ilikuwa mbaya. Because
mbona tuna hotline kama 911 kama maju? Do we have hotlines?
Who said that we do not have?
Yeah, I think that's another conversation.
In fact, when you...
Do we have police hotlines in these villages? Yeah.
999, it is very much working.
It's still working
It is still, not still working. It has never stopped. In fact, right now as we speak...
Is it toll free?
It is 100% free. And if you want to just confirm on air, this one you can even try to dial 999. A police officer will pick 100%.
Busy.
You cannot. Let me confirm. I think your phone must be on flight mode or something. Obija. I mean Sakwa.
Call failed. This is the second time. Put it on loudspeaker, maybe.
You want me to put it on loudspeaker?
Welcome to the National Police Emergency Helpline. Press
I think, Sakwa, you need to buy a phone.
If the call is not an emergency, please hang up.
So that you want us to proceed?
No, it's fine. I think it's working.
Somebody will pick. If it is an emergency, I will just pick. I will just dial 1. And then a police officer will pick.
Right.
I will be able to report an accident. I will be able to report somebody is breaking it. I will be able to report. It is actually working. So unless your phone is on a flight mode, or maybe your phone is there.
Maybe niliblokiwa
Or maybe the international phone.
Controller SUA 999.
Yeah. So it is, and I'm happy that you also gave us an opportunity to be able to show. There is somebody who is just sitting somewhere saying that 999 do not work.
Right. So there's a hotline.
There is a hotline for the police. And if you dial even, I think this one I'm not sure, but I think it also works. Yeah, it is still work. This is now the 112 emergency.
Welcome to the National Police Emergency.
So that is the National Police Service.
Press 1 to talk to an officer.
So press 1 to talk to an officer. So those two numbers are actually working. And you do not even need the number for the OCS or for any other person. If you don't feel that maybe the OCS will help you, just call the 111.
So is this controlled at a call center or stationed at a police post?
This one is, I think, the National Police Service Universal Center, where they pick, they have got all the stations contact everywhere. So they will be able to connect you directly. In fact, I've used this more than 50 times.
112.
112 or 999. Maybe if we are having different issue, maybe somebody is calling from Kiambu, I will tell them just call 112. On the other side, I will be calling 999 to report a different issue. And it has actually worked.
Okay.
It has worked. So you do not have to sit down there and say, nobody is coming to help us. If you see fire, if you see somebody committing a crime, and look, we now have feature kwa DCI. Even before we even go to, whether 999, you don't believe that it is working, there is a feature kwa DCI, which is actually a serious engagement directly with the DCI.
Okay.
And now for the young people, this is where it becomes very nice. There is a WhatsApp number.
Yeah,
yes.
I remember it being shared.
Yes, the WhatsApp number where you just, and that one, nobody will disclose who you are. You will be able to report what is happening. You will be able to tell them. And that is what is happening actually with our DCI. If you feel uncomfortable or you don't have that capability, you just write them on the messenger Facebook, Directorate of Criminal Investigation is very serious.
I think the
and very
DCI
active.
has been exemplary in using social media to update on some of their
And that is the National Police Service
activities,
actually
yeah.
doing. Because if you look at the head of communications, who is the spokesman, he has actually been making sure that this initiative actually work and people are reached. I want our young people from today, even as I leave this studio today.
Please let that be your parting shot and how people can support NCPA.
Yes.
Talk to them.
I want to talk to my young people because I am a parent and I have agency in the house. That I want us for the first time to start believing in our police officers. Why? Because we are, like the recruitment of the police is coming. So please, if we start employing you as police officers, how would you like the police service to be conducted? Would you like the community where people do not believe in you, people do not support you? So it is now time to start engaging ourselves in the community community initiatives that will actually bring you close to knowing how your police officers work. And to join us, anybody can actually join the National Community Policing Association because we are on Facebook. We are called National Community Policing Association. You can actually follow us there.
The page is active?
The page is very active, 100%.
Right.
We also have our NCP, the National Community Policing website, which is www.ncpkenya.com. That is actually our
website.
Our website. And for the young people, of course, they will maybe choose Facebook.
Right.
That one you can actually go there and even share your thoughts, your ideas on how you think.
Or when you have an issue too as well, you can share
Or
it.
even when you have an issue.
Okay, a number?
And
number you should stick to 112 and 999.
we also have our organization, because this is an organization actually. If you come to us also, we will guide you on how you go to the police and how you report your issue. And we have an official number which is 0722, which is actually, you'll find it everywhere, 0722 880 866. That is actually our number. That is 0722 880 866. Yeah, so you can either drop a WhatsApp message. For young people, they like message. And you can also call if you are having an issue. And let us just make sure that at least we support because our main idea is to support the government and to support the National Police Service in security management.
Absolutely. And I think we can close it up on that. For any other developments and consultations, you'll absolutely find it from Janice Yongari, who is a National Community Policing Association chairman as well at NCPA. And thank you so much for your invaluable insights. And we can't wait to collaborate with you right here. I think we've already collaborated with you as Y254. So you being here is definitely a collab, and we appreciate you. Wish you all the best. And I believe in this conversation, umejua polisi ni rafiki, sindo? Yeah, please let us know how you feel about anything that has to do with the conversation. We'd love to know it at Y254 channel. Thank you so much once again, Janice Yongari.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to do this. We're going to take a very short break, and then we're going to be coming back with the rest at Y254 channel at Brand Circle 101 on the hashtag, which is Y in the morning. See you on the other side in a bit.